FIFO, LIFO is a very complicated issue, even though it's easier for me to demonstrate here. But the whole thing complicated because you need to set out your goal first. Right? Is that true? Before you pick FIFO or LIFO, you need to, in your mind, you need to say, okay, sit down there and say, what is my goal? If my goal is for IRS, then I want to have this as large as possible. Even though I cannot make out the number, but I can choose the higher cost of goods, right? Am I right so far?
But doctor, I feel it's so hard to predict the market price, right? That's a problem.
Well, no, we have not gone that
Okay.
issue yet. Let's analyze this issue step by step. Okay. There's a second layer. There's a second layer issue. The first layer issue is, what is your objective? Is for tax purposes or for financial purposes? For tax purposes, of course, I want to see this number as high as possible. And the opposite is, if this is for the stock market, I want to have this as low as possible. This is the first layer. Okay? Have this goal set. Then, yeah, you are right. We cannot predict the item. However, there should be the trend. Say for example, for the high tech, it's going to drop, for sure. For the gold, probably is different, right? For the gold right now, it's oil right now, right? At least for the short period, we can predict probably is higher, right? So even though we cannot predict absolutely correct, but there's a trend. For high tech, usually go lower. So say let's change this a little bit. Okay, say we have one item we can predict it's gonna go lower and lower. Say from 2 to 150 to 1. Typically high tech item. Okay, 2 gigabyte memory. Going drop. Hard drive going drop. CPU going drop. So for those items going drop, number one, you need to move out as early as possible. Otherwise, you got stuck, right? You got trouble. So let's have see. If the price going drop, at least short period you can predict, and then you go back here. You want to have this number as higher as possible. What method you want to use? What kind of method can create this number as higher as possible? Yeah, because going drop, right? You want to use this high number, right? So FIFO. Am I right?
For tax.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. We have this purpose set first. As I said, this first layer. Without that goal, you cannot pick. Without, well, you don't know, is this for IRS or for SEC, then we cannot set. So always you need to set out your goal first. So for example, right now, say for example, this is for IRS. Alright? We want to have this number as high as possible. Then second layer, you know this item price is going down. At least for the short period you can predict, then FIFO. And same item going down, right? You want to have this as low as possible, then LIFO. So always change. But number one goal, you have this. You want to use this for IRS or for finance. Then the second part is difficult, right? This part is easier, right? Because you sitting there, you know this report gonna prepare for the IRS. You know that. However, the difficulty is we never know this price is going down, going up. However, even though this is very difficult, at least we can see the trend. Basically, high-tech inventory going down, natural resource, any kind of natural resource, gold, oil, gas, maybe timber, anything we cannot make. Okay, human being we cannot make it. Usually going up. So that's at least this is a trend. So did I make it clear? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So always sitting there say, okay, number one, for IRS or for finance. Number two, is this item going down or going up? Even though it's very difficult, but at least there's the basic rule there. So this always change, always change. However, once you set out the FIFO, you need to stay with. Well, can you change it? Yes. For any legitimate reason, you can change. Just get approval. Go back to.
Well, I just feel why they make life so difficult. I mean， 人家说简单，真的就是
life is always difficult.
为什么这样子
Life is
？So consistent 啊。
Life is always difficult. Just one moment. Just one moment. Yes, I give it to you.
I'm just curious. Say you said that we have to. I mean, the company has to set the method. Say like.
Yeah, whenever you first time set up this account, whenever
each item you have to register with the government, or how do we know?
No, you just make a note, footnote. Footnote. You have a footnote say.
But every year you can. I mean, basically you decide which method.
No, not every year you decide. I mean, when you first time create this account, you decide. You make a footnote there. This item, our company choose FIFO. We use a LIFO. Eventually, this is a third method. It's called average. You can use it. What's the average? This is average, right? You have 2,000, 3,000, 3,000. You put everything together, divided by 7,000, and this is another third method. You can use the average. But once you use the average, you need to stick with the average. So whenever the first time you create this account, you choose already. And later on, if you think, well, any reason I want to change that, yes, you can change it. Just get approval. Oh, by the way, if you are the small company, nobody care. So life could be easier, okay? Like, you are not public company, okay? You don't report to SEC, you can always change.
Why is legal?
Legal, the number is real, okay? That's the bottom line.
Because
That's very, very bottom line.
two different number for.
Eventually, for small business, don't bother. You just use the average. Nobody care.
Just curious, if for manufacturer, whatever the big item, I mean, same prices, okay. How about for the retail? See, like Macy's, there's some millions of parts.
Wow,
items.
right. That life is so difficult. For each item, yeah, for each item you need to create one account, so you can see how come accounting people will not lose the job. The company will not lay you off because they will keep you.
Quick question. If I do in LIFO, if I'm constantly getting inventory, does that mean the first item I will never be able to credit it back unless there's a shortage?
Right. Then you see you have facing inventory management problem. His question is very good, right? If you choose LIFO and your sales never meet the inventory level, that really means your first coming item always there. Oh, by the way, not physically.
Yeah.
Not physically. You may move physically the item from your first purchase to make profit flash, right?
Yeah.
Right. However, the accounting you gotta use the costs always stay there. The cost also. You see the problem. You say, wow, this is the problem. How come? Unless you cut down your purchase. So this is another thing related to your inventory management. If you see this is LIFO, your first came in inventory never move out, then you need to cut down your purchase. Then the inventory people say, hey, purchase, you don't purchase. We have this item sitting here forever. We need to cut down our purchase until the first in item move out, then we don't purchase.
Okay.
Very good point.
And then the second question would be that because you say every item create its own FIFO, LIFO.
Yes.
So does that mean for chip IC company they have different revision on every chip? Does that mean they also make it?
Right. That's judgment call, I would say. That's
Okay.
how different each version is. If very similar, then you can just put it together.
Okay.
If it's a lot different, you need to create it. So that's judgment calls.
Okay.
No absolute answer. Any other questions? I see hands. Yes.
You mentioned about the average, the cost, right? Is
Yeah,
that
this is a
real
third
or
method.
that's just a
Third method.
third method, but it's not covered.
Well, this is on a continuous basis.
Okay.
On a continuous basis. So, say for example, you here, you have those 7,000 units here. You have this average. Then probably you move out this first already. Then you have another 4,000 coming in. Then you have whenever at this moment, how many units in your inventory you need to calculate the average at this moment.
Is that one also legal?
Yeah. This is a third method. We just don't want to cover it because there's calculation, same concept. But for the average, you need to maintain the average at this moment. So that number change all the time. Whenever you have sales, right, you reduce, you change. Whenever you have a purchase, increase, you change. So that is even more complicated.
This only applies to company. Therefore, individual, for example, you trading the stock, you can pick which lot.
Same idea.
Same idea.
Same idea.
That's all we can
Say, for example, you report 1040, right, on the Schedule D, I believe, right, on the capital loss or capital income, right? Same concept. You purchase 1,000 stock, this price, 2,000 tomorrow, and finally you sell, and you can designate which block I sold to. You need to make. I believe the new regulation required stockbroker to give you the statement. By the end of the year, you can report how much capital gain.
I didn't know. I've been picking which way to my benefit.
Yeah, of course, right, of course. Same concept. Anyway, this is 5-4 life. Any problem? I just want to make it easy. Conclusion is, if for the small business, don't bother. So. All right, chapter 8, another